The French F4U-7 is hardly a new arrival, but it still deserves some attention. Its suspended armament was recently expanded, and this veteran piston fighter can now make a serious claim to being the most versatile Corsair in the game. Why this one in particular? Let's compare. First, let's recall the late members of the family: the French F4U-7, the two American F4U-4B variants, the AU-1 Attacker, and the F2G-1, better known as the Super Corsair. Today's aircraft is powered by an 18-cylinder radial engine producing almost 3,000 horsepower. The American 4Bs use the same engine, but their airframes are noticeably lighter. The attack-oriented AU-1 falls short by around 200 horsepower, putting it behind in terms of flight performance. The Super Corsair's engine really is slightly more powerful, by about 60 horsepower, but its power plant is also significantly heavier. As a result, the French aircraft still ranks among the top 3 in power-to-weight ratio. In practice, this means an excellent climb rate and a very high top speed. Keep the aircraft at around 270 to 280 kilometers an hour, and it can confidently climb at an angle of roughly 20 degrees. By the time you meet the enemy, 5,000 meters is simply a normal working altitude. Its diving performance is just as impressive. The airframe can withstand up to 885 kilometers an hour of indicated airspeed. The controls become extremely heavy at high speed, though, so feel free to dive. Just make sure you've thought about how you're going to avoid the ground afterward. The F4U-7 is perfectly suited to boom and zoom tactics: strike, climb away, and repeat. It can also be surprisingly capable in a maneuvering fight. The powerful engine performs very well in vertical maneuvers, while its enormous landing flaps allow it to pull sharply onto a target at the crucial moment. The fixed armament is exactly what you would expect at this battle rating. 4 fast-firing 20mm cannons with powerful high-explosive shells are the gold standard for late piston fighters. This is also where the French Corsair has an advantage over the F2G-1. 6 heavy machine guns are still a solid setup, but after 4 cannons, that kind of compromise is no longer very tempting. The greatest advantage of today's aircraft, however, is its suspended armament, and that is precisely what has recently been expanded. The Super Corsair is limited to a pair of bombs, while the 4B can carry 6 bombs and 4 rockets. The French aircraft and the attack-oriented AU-1 operate on an entirely different level. The most interesting loadout looks like this: a 2,000-pound bomb on the centerline, 2 1,000-pound bombs beside it, and another 6 pods of rockets under the wings, or 6 500-pound bombs instead. And that still isn't everything. HVAR rockets can be fitted between the wing-mounted bombs. The total combat load exceeds 3,700 kilograms. For a single-engine piston fighter, that's almost outrageous. Of course, you shouldn't fly with such a load all the time. It makes the aircraft far too heavy and sluggish. But simply having the freedom to choose between the role of a fully capable fighter and an excellent strike aircraft is extremely valuable. That is why the F4U-7 can now be called the most versatile Corsair in War Thunder. In terms of flight performance, it's only slightly behind the best fighter variants in the family, while its strike capability can outperform even purpose-built attackers.